It's the 15th of October and it's a dull, cloudy day, but the colors are vibrant. It's now about 5:30 in the evening, and although it's getting dark, the colors are so nice. It's dark to look at, but the colors are literally glowing in this darkness. So I'm going to walk around before it gets completely dark and take some pictures. This video may not see the light of day until, say, mid-November or the end of November, and I'm going to continue recording every day to see how the colors change. This is a small leaf maple. A lot of the leaves are still green, but it's starting to turn. This, by the way, is the Japanese bush clover. It's literally grown as a bush, and look at it, absolutely resplendent. And this is the back garden of my house, and I'm just turning around to show you some of the color that I have. Those lovely yellow leaves are the tulip tree, Tulipifera. I've been trying to make bonsai out of them, but I think I should give up. The leaves are so large that I don't think there's a chance in hell of ever getting a decent bonsai out of it. And the Zelkovas this year have been absolutely splendid. This is ordinary Japanese greybark elm, Zelkova serrata, and look at the color of the leaves. I've never seen a Zelkova look so red, so red. Absolutely beautiful. So when we have cloudy days, when the sun is not shining, there's always something nice to look forward to. This is a view from my back garden. That's my garden shed. I don't often come here because it's not a pretty part of the garden. But when you look at the view from here, you can't help but notice how beautiful everything is. Look at that view, this canopy of trees. These Zelkova trees, I may have told you the story about it. When I came here in 1985-86, one of the first things I ever did was to plant 350 Zelkova serrata, thinking I would make bonsai out of it. After 10 years, they became so big, they're about 80 to 100 feet tall, that I lost control of them and I can't use them for bonsai anymore. So I did fell 300 of the trees, and I've left with 50 trees, and they are used for just amenity. And after 40 years, look at the lovely view. Look at these lovely tall trees, 100-foot high Zelkovas, and they are simply there for me to enjoy. This is the undergrowth of the Japanese maples, and they haven't started coloring yet. These Japanese maples are every bit 60 feet tall, and they've been in the ground at Herons for only the last 39 or 40 years. So they do grow fast, they do grow fast. I love magnolia. This is Magnolia grandiflora. I have about 6 of these trees around the nursery, and I simply love the flowers on them. I'm just going to walk around the rest of the nursery while I have the camera running, and I will show you some of the color. We started collecting the seed. Some of the seeds, until they turn brown, I don't like collecting it because it's not quite ripe. The ones we have collected have already started turning brown and already have started shedding. I'm very fond of this yellow fruited crab apple. The fruit are so small, they're almost like little marbles or beads. Look at that. And the tree is simply loaded with fruit, loaded with fruit. This maple is still green. So as I said, there's a lot of color yet to come. Now that's a Zelkova that I cut down about 30 years ago, because after 10 years the tree got so big. These were some of the trees I felled, but although I felled it to the ground, they started sprouting up again. So look at the color. Part of the tree has started turning red. Zelkova serrata. In case you think I'm trying to con you, let's have a look at the leaf. These are Zelkova serrata leaves. And when they are grown in the ground, the leaves are so big, and when they're grown as bonsai, they are no more than a 1/4 inch long. I better home in on the Zelkova because, as I said to you a bit earlier, I've never known Zelkova serrata to color like this. It's quite spectacular to see a Zelkova tree with this color, almost like a maple. And the maples which are growing in the pots, most of them have already lost their leaves. Look at this, it's turned brown already. But the ones that are growing in the ground haven't started turning color yet. And another tree that I grew to become a large, full-grown size tree are these Chinese elm, which come as bonsai. And this has been growing in the ground for the last 40 years. And look at the seeds on them. These are Chinese elm seeds. Continuing with my walk, this is a close-up of the tulip trees. Here you are, the Zelkova serrata leaves. We also have liquid amber. The Americans call it sweet gum, and that is liquid amber. There are many varieties. I don't know what variety this is. And look at the color of the leaves. Mottled or blotched pink. Look at the tree on the same tree, different shades of red. These are our pines. The pines are evergreen, so we admire the foliage throughout the year, but at this time of the year, the deciduous trees take pride of place. It seems a shame to cut them down for bonsai. I will continue growing these as ordinary trees. They are so beautiful. Strangely enough, at our nursery, the trident maples seldom have good color. This is a large trident maple that I've been growing for years and years. Look at the size of trunk. That trunk, I think at the base is 2 foot in diameter. 2 foot. I'm trying to make a bonsai out of this. And the tree itself is about 30 feet tall. I think I will have to airlay this tree, but it doesn't turn color, but it has a lot of seeds. Just to show you what some of the other trees look like, this is a horse chestnut or conker tree. We grow them as bonsai. And this is a very rare form of beech. It's a cut leaf beech. Look at the leaves on it. European hornbeam, they don't have good color, they only turn yellow. So this is European hornbeam. Nothing spectacular. This maple is grown in a large flower pot. No color yet. I'm now going to walk back into the nursery because there are some beautiful ginkgos in full golden yellow color, which I will show you in just a moment. This I think is Osaka Zuki. This is another eerie part of the landscape. We have this maple grove in the spring. It is absolutely beautiful because the colors of the leaves, there are about 5 different varieties of maple here, all with different colors. There's Deshojo, Seiryu, Katsura, and in the autumn, this is what it is. It's only the start of the autumn. They haven't started turning color yet. This is the Arakawa that I've got, and this has yet to turn. I'm now going to walk to the bank, top of the bank of my pond area, to show you the view of some of the maples. And that at the top is another Zarkova tree. And the leaves are all red. This is Arakawa turning red. That is Seiryu. Seiryu, look at the seeds on that tree. Look at the seeds on that. Covered in seed. Covered in seed. The plains are particularly noisy because we've got the wind from the east, so they're taking off. So full throttle, a lot of noise. That ginkgo in the ground is not yellow yet, but I'll show you our bonsai ginkgo. They are absolutely at their peak color. Some of my maple trees have already lost their leaves. See, this one has lost their leaves. Many of these are shedding their leaves. So this is the collection of ginkgo bonsai that we have. And here we are, look at that color. Absolutely splendid. The leaves are huge. So on that note, I will end this video. This is a Japonicum. This is not a palmatum. And this is the autumn color of mulberry bonsai. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tour. And there's more to come. Now these ginkgos have a slightly different color. So even with ginkgo, There are different clones obviously. So this one is a paler golden. The previous one I showed you was a much richer, darker shade of yellow. Today is the 18th of October and the autumn is well on its way. Not quite full yet because I'm just looking at some of the trees around the nursery. That's a large poplar tree, that's an oak tree. The oak tree has only just started showing little bits of golden touches to the leaves. Some of my beech trees have started shedding. And I'm turning around to this larch because this video is going to be about the larch as bonsai. So this is, I think it is a Japanese larch. This is one I made about 30 or 40 years ago. Just a garden tree really, but it's a large bonsai which is used extensively by our Japanese friend who uses it at Chelsea every year. So this larch is only just about beginning to change color. Now there are many types of larches and not everyone knows the difference, but I'll try and point out the differences to you. So I'm now going into the field where I have two larches which are completely different. So this is my own garden where I keep a lot of the untrained material. This is a very fine foliage larch. I think it's a Japanese larch, but I've never seen needles so fine. And the trunk is about 4 inches thick. The tree itself is just over a meter tall. And then just next to it, I have another larch. Look at the difference in the type of foliage and the size of foliage. This one is like that, like a bottle brush. Not very pretty, I thought. And the color is brown, I think. It's not so golden. This one a few days ago was completely golden. It's now turning brown. So side by side, we got two completely different larches. This I think is the European larch, and I think this one is probably some sort of hybrid larch. So let's look at this from a distance because it's so tall I've got to stand far back. The tops have died as I mentioned a moment ago, and I'm going to gin the tops. It'll look quite nice ginned. I suppose the trees are so tall, it's very hard to get the sap to flow all the way to the top. If I didn't want the gin, I could probably create a new leader at the top. So these are all larches that we have here. But the bark of these old larches is really spectacular. Look at the gnarled, flaky bark. Another large, tall larch that I made from one of our garden trees. These were grown in our field since 1985-86, and I made it into a bonsai maybe about 20 years ago. So you can see I left the wire on the branches. They've got nice and gnarled. Some branches are dying, but they can be ginned. But it's a very old larch. I reckon this tree is only about 50 years old. This is about 1.1 or 1.2 meter tall. It's a huge larch. This is another larch. This I think is a Japanese larch for sure. And this is one that Kevin has carved, and I'm making a new leader on this tree. We have quite a few larch. This is another larch forest of 5 trees. These are larches that we make all the time on our nursery. So today is the 20th of October. And it's a rainy, wet, miserable day, but the colors appear to be glowing and it's really vibrant in the rain. Absolutely vibrant. I've never seen the rain have such a lovely effect on the leaves. You can see how the raindrops are falling. The drops on the pond, drops dropping from the glass roof, and yet the colors are ever so bright. The colors are changing by the day. Today is Monday, the 21st of October, and we've had a heavy shower of rain, and look at the ginkgo leaves. They're being blown to bits. As I speak, the leaves are being blown off. Today is the 23rd of October, and I'm recording the change of color as the autumn proceeds. It's been a very funny day. Yesterday we had a storm with 60-mile-an-hour winds. The nursery was flooded, but it hasn't rained during the day, so it only rained at night. So let's continue with the walk and see what is going on. The colors are not completely red yet, so this maple, for instance, is still green and a bit of yellow, but the seeds are plentiful. Look at the seeds. Look at all those seeds. Some of our friends are coming at the end of the month to collect seeds, so we're going to have a field day collecting seed. This is one of our small leaf maples, and as we walk around, we'll see more maples turning. This is a cherry tree here, which is turning slightly orangey pink. So you can recognize the cherry leaves. And here, this is a mighty big Shigi Tatsusawa. Arakawa hasn't started turning yet. We've had a lot of rain, so the pond is pretty full. I noticed that the ginkgo tree is starting to turn, and the conker trees are in full color. They turn yellow, but not pink or orange like some of the other trees are doing. I can see the ginkgo in the background. I'll walk towards it. It's only just starting to turn. It turns a very golden yellow, but it's not just in its full splendor yet. Different trees have different colored leaves. This is one of the Zelkova brooms that I've been training for many years. And look at the color of that. That's another maple that I'm in the process of training. Many of them are air-layered trees. Some maples don't seem to turn red. This one is green and a bit of yellow. This one is also not very bright red. And there you are in the background is my ginkgo. Let me enlarge the picture for you. That is the ginkgo. I'll record it again when more color comes. It's 6 o'clock in the evening and it's going to suddenly get dark. Autumn is well on its way. That is a Nomura, or a red maple. Some people call it redgood. In Europe they call it redgood, but the Japanese call that Nomura. This is a Japanese white beech that I've been training for many years. Look at the base. And it's already turned brown. But this is a white beech which is growing in the ground. We collect our seeds from this tree, and that is the start of the autumn color. One branch here has turned that color. Another branch is this color. And yet some of the other branches are bright green. And those are the seeds. Many of the seeds have popped out. If I can show you what the seeds look like, that's a seed pod, and the seed is inside there. You get about 3 or 4 seeds in each pod. So the seeds are falling, and I've got my white sheet of plastic where I collect all the seeds. So I'm coming close to the ginkgo tree. I love this tree. We have several ginkgos on the nursery. This is a tall, straight one. I have a yellow one which is a more bushy form. I saw some lovely ones in Ontario in Canada. in the Royal Botanical Gardens in Burlington. But this one is not a female, it doesn't carry fruit. And this is a silver birch bonsai that I've been trying to make for many, many years. I've mentioned before that silver birch is extremely difficult to make into bonsai, but I won't be beaten yet. I will make this into a bonsai. I'm determined to do so. So this is a view of my hedge. This is a hedge of horse chestnut, believe it or not, overgrown hedge. Trees are 80 to 100 foot tall. Although I don't have a large acreage, we're only like 7.5 or 7.9 acres, but I feel bad sometimes walking over and over again, but since many of you don't mind seeing the changes of color and me taking a walk around the nursery, so I will continue doing it till you tell me to stop. You can see the dark clouds. It's getting dark, so I'm going to walk towards the nursery and call it a day. Always sad to see the leaves falling on the ground. And I must walk under this large magnolia. This is the magnolia, I think it's called longifolia. Look at the size of the leaves. The leaves are about 15 to 18 inches long. That's my hand. See the size of the leaf? This tree I grew from seed about 30 years ago. It's a very windy day. And with the autumn winds, you get a strong wind and all the leaves will fall. But I hope the leaves hold on a bit because many of the maples haven't turned its full color yet. So on that note, I'm going to stop for a while. End of another lovely day. It's what we call the start of the autumn because not all the trees are beginning to turn color. The oak trees are certainly still green with just a hint of yellow, but my bonsai oak are almost about to completely shed their leaves. So let's walk around. The pictures you see on Instagram are not my ones. They are some of my other staff who are very artistic too. So if you see the little reels on Instagram, they are made by members of our staff. This year seems to be a rather strange year because I've noticed that some of the maples have shed their leaves and they were red for only a very brief while. In the distance there are some maples which have shed, but this one, the Shigetatsusawa, this is still red and still more color to come. My Arakawas in the pots have shed all their leaves, but the ones growing in the ground have not shed any leaves at all. This is an Arakawa bonsai that I'm training. We make quite a few of these trees on our nursery, so we don't import everything. So these are being grown on the nursery. Shishigashira, they haven't been successful. I noticed there are some deer running around the nursery going mad. I might get a glimpse of them in a minute. This is a Ginkgo bonsai that I grew many years ago, but I didn't have the heart to dig it up. I've let it grow as a tree and now it's about, I would say, 16 to 18 feet high. Now this maple doesn't turn color, but it's loaded with seed, absolutely loaded with seed. This is an Arakawa growing in the ground. Look at the color. And I'm going to go to the trunk below. You see that the leaves that are in the shade, they don't turn red because the sun hasn't ripened the sugars in the leaves. So this is an Arakawa leaf. This is the Arakawa trunk. And that trunk is about 12 inches in diameter. Grown here for the last 32 years from an inch thick tree. We have several Arakawas in this maple grove. This is Seiryu. Lots of seeds still to collect. What a lovely day. It's Sunday morning, 26th of October, and we are now on Greenwich Mean Time. That means the summer is over, we have shorter evenings, but the sun is shining so bright. I don't often make videos during the daytime, but with the sun shining like this and everything looking so great and nice, I felt I should take you for a little walk. It's quite amazing how at different times of the day, the daylight has magical effects on colors. In the evening, if you film when the sun is shining low, the color is one hue, and in the daytime the sun is at a slightly different angle and much brighter. So I'm just going to walk into the garden because I was just sweeping the floor at the back and I was absolutely mesmerized by the color. I'll show you what I mean. It's quite amazing that in a small space like this, there are so many different feelings that you get when colors are different. Although the trees are the same, they look different at different times of the year. So look at that view. The sun is shining from the southeast, and this is the view. Not all the maples, mind you, have turned color. There's still a few maples yet to turn, like this beautiful one. This is yet to turn. This will be flame red, and that's an ordinary mountain maple, straight Acer palmatum. And look at the sun shining through those pine trees. I'm very proud of those pines. They were made from ordinary Scots pines back in 1990 when they were only like 70 centimeter tall. Now they're about 3 meter tall. On a day like this, it's great to be alive. And we're going to have a social dance this afternoon. I always have good weather when we have a function. So I hope you enjoyed this little clip. Let me turn around. Our horse chestnut trees are turning even more yellow, and soon the trees will be bare. What a lovely blue sky. Look at the red of that maple and look at the color of it. It's just like the red of the car. This is in front of my house. The green tree is the Deshojo. Can you believe it? Deshojo in the autumn is not colorful. And today is the 28th of October. This is my favorite time of the year when the leaves are starting to fall. Look at all the autumn leaves. In a week or so, there may not be any leaves left. As they say, this is about enjoying the moment, living the moment. The sun is shining after a heavy rainfall last night, but we don't complain. Storms don't last forever, as they say. Look at it now. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon and look at the sunshine. It's a lovely sunny day after a lot of rain, and this is our front garden. Those 2 pine trees I planted in 1986, they were 2 of 1,000 pines that I planted. Some of them became bonsai, but the rest of them had to be felled, and some have been allowed to grow like that. And this green tree is a Deshojo, believe it or not. And at this time of the year, it never has good autumn color. It's still bright green. And look at the other maples. Those 2 are seedling trees. They were grown from seeds. They were seeds that fell into the flower bed, and they have just grown. They are only about, I would say, 10 to 15 years old. Very unusual trees. I don't know what the variety is. I just don't know what the variety is. This one is that color most of the year, and that one is a green maple, but the autumn color is like that. Spectacular. See the size of the leaves, huge leaves. Today is the 3rd of November, and you can see that it's a cloudy, miserable day. It's now about 4 o'clock in the evening and about to get dark. This red maple in the front garden is normally green in the summer, and it was a seedling that grew next to my water basin, and it's only about maybe possibly 15 years old at the most. And that green tree is our famous Deishojo. That Deishojo was imported from a village called Yamagata in Kyushu near Fukuoka, and although the spring color is a brilliant pink, in the autumn it is an insipid orange. You can see the little branch on the left hand side. That is the autumn color. For the most part it remains green. So Deishojo is a very disappointing tree when it comes to autumn color. But look at that wild seedling, absolutely stunning. Everyone who passes by my house stop and watches that front garden for about 1 or 2 minutes before they drive off. It's 10 minutes past 4 on the 4th of November, and although the sun looks as if it's quite bright on the horizon, it's setting fast, and within 20 minutes this place will be dark. So I'm going to run around the nursery and take some lovely shots, because today we've had no rain, but it's not been a bright sunny day. We've had glimpses of sunshine, but the colors are just exquisite. The colors are literally changing by the hour, and the leaves are falling by the hour. So let me walk around and show you what we've got left. These are larches. The larches are really in their element. This is a Korean hornbeam. This is only just turning this soft, delicate, orangey pink. There's another Korean hornbeam, but you see, it's in the same location, but the colors are slightly different. Perhaps that one has got more color to come. That is a dawn redwood. I'm afraid a lot of the leaves have fallen already in the wind. And let me walk to some more larches. The larches drop their leaves very, very quickly. This is the one that I loaned to people to hire. The Japanese gardener who uses it for Chelsea always uses this one. This one must have gone to Chelsea about 10 or 12 times. In the spring it's really spectacular. And let me now go through some of the other colorful autumn subjects. Crab apples, galore, absolutely galore. We collect the fruit and sell the seeds. This is a subject that is 100% successful. How can you not love these beautiful plants? They're all different varieties. I don't know the names of all of them. This one is a much smaller fruit. These are larger fruit. Pyracantha. Now these Korean hornbeams have lost all their leaves. Some of them hang on to the leaves like the beech trees. This one is still bright green. And this one next to it has already turned brown. Side by side, same species. And now, of course, the trees that are growing in the ground, they're at their peak. I will come to those in a minute. I have some larches still to show you. The Ginkgo bonsai, unfortunately, have lost all their leaves. These are the starter plants, starter ginkgos. And let me show you the Chinese squints, because they've had a glorious year. The bright sunshine has caused the fruit to ripen, and this is what they look like. Look at the spectacular colors. The color of the red is quite something. Glowing red, touched with a bit of orange. Unfortunately, the fruit are not sweet to eat. They are rather tough. Lots of fruit, lots of fruit. They are like a pear almost. Look at it, winter image already on those Chinese elms. Once the deciduous trees have lost their leaves, the evergreen conifers like the pines and the junipers will come into their own. These are our larches. Some of them still got some leaves on. These are the maples that are growing either in pots or in the ground. And the color is quite spectacular. Look at that crabapple there, laden with fruit. The branches are breaking from the load and the weight of the fruit. And that red maple at the back is a Nomura. The one in the front, this one, is a Deshojo. Another spectacular Korean hornbeam. That's a major, major tree. Look at the base on that tree. It's about 12 inches across, the Nebari. Now this is the maple that I purchased in 1990 from Kyushu, from a village called Yamagata. Every year the color is different. Look at the autumn color this year. The yellow leaves have got red blotches on the ends. Some of them are still green. You could sit under this tree all day and admire the color. I've noticed in some years the color is not good at all, but this year the color is good. Now next to it we have a large maple which I planted in 1986 when I came here. The trunk diameter then was only 1 inch, and now the diameter of that tree trunk is about 2 feet to 2.5 feet, and the spread is about 40 or 50 feet wide. This year the color is only yellow, but it is laden with seed, absolutely laden with seed. If I can just show you, those are all seeds there. Let me show you on the lower branches. The leaves haven't fallen on that. Look at the seeds on that. And that is our yellow crab apple. And now this red one is the red Shigitatsu Sawa, or it's called Aka Shigitatsu Sawa. It's lost half the leaves in just one day. The breeze and the wind has taken all the leaves off. Look at the leaves on the ground. And this tree is just an ordinary mountain maple. But look at the autumn color. Only a week ago it was bright green. This is the red Shigitatsu Sawa. and quite a few people have been buying the seeds from this tree. We've had a very good crop of seeds from this tree this year. But the Arakawa, the rough bark maple, hasn't turned such a good color this year. Normally it is absolutely stunning red. So trees vary from year to year. This is our famous maple grove. And this is the Arakawa maple. The tips of this branch of the Arakawa is red, the rest of the tree is green. Maybe there is yet more color to come. Maple leaves have distinctive leaf shape. Look at the leaf shape on this one. I'll go to another maple tree and you'll see that the leaf shape is completely different. This is a Deshojo leaf. That's different. And the Seiryo, which is the cut leaf maple, the leaves are so different here. Now this is an Arakawa as well, but look at the color, it's only like a yellowy color, not a lot of red. And just to show you, look at the bark on that, that is Arakawa. Normally this tree is bright red. I'll follow the progress of the color change to see if it does turn deep red. And it's in full sun. Usually if they're in shade they don't have so much color, but this one is in full sun. That poor ginkgo has lost almost all its leaves. And these poor maples have lost all their leaves already. The variation in autumn color of the maples is quite spectacular. Look at this one. This one is some form of japonicum, I think. Leaf shape is quite different. This is almost like a lesson in maple identification, Japanese maple identification. And that yellow maple in the distance is a sangokaku, or what we would call the red twig maple. Senkaki some people call it, but the Japanese call it sangokaku. And it's just yellow. I will go close and show you in detail what the color of the leaves and the shape of the leaves look like from close. It's almost a pure yellow. Pure golden yellow, like ginkgo leaves. And the stems don't turn red until the winter. And cherry trees have autumn color too. This yellow or yellow-orange tree is a Japanese cherry. This is the, I think it's not Yukon, it's the white one, I think it's Taihaku. And this is Nomura, which is a very spectacular red. It is purplish for most of the year, but look at the autumn color on that. So I've never known maples to have so much variation in color as I have this year. This is another mountain maple. We call trees mountain maple if they are not a name variety, or if I don't know what the variety name is. Small leaves and different color, not turning red, turning just a yellowish, maybe tinged with orange, and then the leaves will fall. Look at how the colors blend, green with the reds. I got another red maple that I've been trying to air layer and make into bonsai, but perhaps I will just leave it in the ground to become a big tree. It's such a beautiful maple. Very dark color. I think it'll turn more crimson. Look at the air layerings I've got there. A lot of bags around those trees. So although the camera may not record it as being dark, it's quite dark now. These are just the lower branches of the Nomura maple. I can't remember the name of this one, but you can see that's still the variegation. I'm getting a bad memory for my names. And the autumn color is a golden color. There are no seeds on this tree. It's funny how certain maples are very prolific in bearing seeds, and yet there are others that do not have any color whatsoever. Now turning around here, there are some maples which are bright green, haven't turned at all. The golden yellow leaves against the bright blue azure sky. What a beautiful sight. What a beautiful sight. So although this is part of my nursery walk video, I'm going to stop it in a minute because I'm going to do some videos with my volunteer Josh around, so we're going to do some project videos. But while I've got the camera running, let me walk you through some of the other lovely sights on the nursery. Mainly my maples, of course. These are different maples in training. They've all got massive trunks, all waiting to be trained into bonsai. This is a Nomura, large garden tree about 3 meters tall. More maples. And the maples which are growing in the ground, I grow these to thicken. They haven't started turning their full color yet. Some of them are still green, so when you grow maples in the ground, they keep their leaves much longer. I'm not a trained film maker or a cameraman, but I know what I like and I can see what is nice. So look at these views that you get here from under the tree. These tall Zelkova serrata were planted nearly 40 years ago. To make bonsai, they are more than 100 feet tall. They are trees that escaped my attention. This is a trident maple. Look at the leaves, and this was also 100 feet tall. I have several of them. So I like to see what they look like when they are allowed to grow to their full potential. So this is a bonsai nursery. in case you think it's only a tree nursery. So it's that time of the year when the leaves have fallen. You get a bit sad and nostalgic, thinking of all the lovely times that we've had this summer. So such is life. Just the maple leaves on the benches. So beautiful. You feel nostalgic. That tree in the distance is an Arakawa, but for some reason this year the color is not red, it's yellow. Normally my Arakawas are deep red. And to show you that it is a real Arakawa, let's go near and look at the craggy trunk. This is what Arakawa looks like when it's grown as a normal tree. Just yellow. I have another large Arakawa, multi-stem, and that is also not bright red this year. I don't know why the reason for this is. Only certain branches are red, but for the most part they're just an insipid yellow. Some of the leaves are still green. This is a lovely view. Stunning view. So I hope you've enjoyed my summer walk. I won't conclude the video when the trees are all bare, but I don't want to keep this video too long in the making because I've been making it for over a month now, since I would say early October, and it's time to call it a day. And on that note, I hope you've enjoyed these different snippets that I've made, different times of the day walking around the nursery. I know you enjoy it, but as long as you enjoy it, I feel I've done my job and my mission in life is completed. So enjoy it and give me your feedback. Thanks. Well, I thought I'd add something to the video that I just completed, and this is the night scene, 8:30 at night. A lot of bonfire parties are going on, and look at the moon. It is in fact rising from the northeast direction of the nursery. So there you go. I hope it comes out well, and I hope you've enjoyed the series of little talks and walks around the nursery. So I'm enjoying it, and I hope you enjoy it too.